Jeff Quartermaine, Managing Director and CEO of Perseus Mining.
Thank you very much. Honourable Tim Watts, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honourable Anthony Mavundo, Minister of Minerals in the Republic of Tanzania, numerous honourables, excellencies, entourages, distinguished guests, and very importantly, industry colleagues, because without you, this event would be somewhat irrelevant. It is my great pleasure this morning to bring to you a real success story related to mining on the African continent. There's a lot of discussion about mining on the African continent. Not all of it is positive, but I'm very pleased to say that Perseus Mining has had an experience that's been first class, and I think the results that we've delivered over a period of time is clear evidence that mining can be conducted very successfully in every respect. So without further ado, please allow me to show you initially a little bit about what we have been doing over the last 10 or so years, and then conclude my presentation with a few of my thoughts around the actual task of mining. Now this slide you might find is rather curious, saying who is Perseus Mining? Well, I do need to explain that to you because we as a company very often fly under the radar in our home country. We are based here in Perth. However, all of our activities are focused on the African continent, where we have been operating for several years. We are an explorer, a developer and an operator, and we work in 5 separate countries on the continent. We have over the last 3 or 4 years been producing in excess of 500,000 ounces of gold per year at about $1,000 an ounce, having come from being a very simple explorer not so many years ago. As a result of that work, we've developed a pretty strong balance sheet and capability to continue our work on the continent. We do this in a very safe and sustainable manner. And very importantly, in delivering what we do, we are guided by an extremely talented board of directors and management team and a full workforce on the African continent. I'm very pleased to say that in Ghana, for instance, 100% of our employees are Ghanaian nationals, and they do an outstanding job. So looking specifically at our operations, we have, as I say, 3 operating mines at the present time. The first of these was the Edikan mine that we built in Ghana, got operating in 2012. Since then, we've moved into Cote d'Ivoire, where we've since developed 2 mines. Firstly, the Sissingué mine in the far north on the border with Mali, and more recently the Yaouré mine, which is located close to Yamoussoukro. Since we've been operating, we've produced around 3.7 million ounces of gold, so that's quite a significant contribution, to the output of the continent. And that strong performance is continuing into the future, and you can see from this particular slide what we're aiming to do this year, which is once again producing in the order of 500,000 ounces of gold. Now, in addition to the operating mines that we have, the 3 operating mines, we're also in the process of building a fairly strong pipeline of projects that will see this company operating for many years to come. And they consist of a number of projects. The first of these that I would like to just mention is the Yaouré underground mine development, which is adjacent to one of our existing businesses. This will be the very first underground gold or mine in Cote d'Ivoire, and we're working closely with the government as we speak to put together regulations that will govern the operation of this mine, and it will be run to standards that will meet those from around the world. So we're particularly happy with the way this is coming forward. In terms of delivery of that project, we'll be taking an investment decision fairly shortly in October, and then be mobilising beyond that and moving into production fairly soon thereafter. Now, the second of our development projects is the Nyanzaga project in Tanzania, which, as the Minister has said very ably, is definitely open for business. And this is our newest acquisition, and we're extremely excited about the prospects of this particular project. So just sort of going back to, this thing here has got a mind of its own, I have to say, but where the project is located is in the north of the country, not too far from Mwanza on Lake Victoria. And this is a project that has been known of for many years, but hasn't been brought into development. Now, we are working very hard to, in fact, to do just that, to bring this project into development and to start generating very substantial benefits, not only for our company, of course, but very importantly for our host government, host community, employees and other providers of goods and services. Now, where we sit today, we are getting very close to a development decision, and I would have to say that I'm extremely pleased to say and to validate what the Minister has said about the attitude of the Tanzanian government towards foreign investment. The country is extremely welcoming, and we're having some very, very constructive discussions with the Minister and his ministerial colleagues that give us an enormous level of confidence that this project can actually be brought into fruition on budget and on schedule. Here are a couple of slides that actually go to the point. I mean, we have had very good discussions with the government over the last few months since we've acquired this project. The infrastructure in the country is extremely good, and the people are wonderful, and we're moving forward with some pace at the present time. And you can see not only have drilling activities on the site, confirmation drilling activities been underway, but we've also been quite busy on the ground. Now, if I can actually make this thing work, I'm going to show you that the Minister hasn't actually seen this, but late last week we commenced work on the site, building a relocation housing. So if I can make this work, I'm going to show it to you. I don't know that I can. Here we go. So what we're doing, there's about 280 people who are currently living on the site of the prospective mine. We have commissioned 2 contractors, Ghanaian contractors, to undertake the construction of the housing. And this is a very, very important point that I make, because in being Ghanaian contractors, we're insisting, sorry, I beg your pardon, Tanzanian contractors are we're very insistent that local people be employed and learn from the experience. And so this is a really important milestone for us. We believe that the local population are very happy to see some activity on the ground for the first time, and we'll be pushing on with this, with vengeance in periods to come. And what the timetable actually looks like is we're looking like taking a decision at the end of this year, in December, to a final investment decision, moving into construction in the new year, and we'll be looking to pour first gold in the first quarter of 2027. Another project that we have is the Mayasan Gold Project, which is in Sudan, in the north of the country. Now, many people are aware that Sudan has been going through some challenging times, but nevertheless, this is an outstanding project, and I'm very, very disappointed that the Minister for Sudan, who was planning to be here today, was unable to get access to the country to come and share his knowledge around what is happening in country and what the situation is with companies such as ours. But this is a project that's an outstanding project. We intend to move this thing forward when the time is right. Now, just looking at what all of these things have achieved, we have been announcing some fairly outstanding results of late. It is interesting, I say we go under the radar, but Perseus is possibly more profitable than most Australian gold miners combined. And over the last couple of years, as I say, announced some pretty strong numbers where we have earnings in $360 million in the last year, very strong balance sheet, and we have been servicing our shareholders and all of our stakeholders. And the relevance of the strong financial performance is that all of our stakeholders, other than shareholders, require us to generate cash to deliver benefits. And that's exactly what we have been doing. And you can see from these slides that over the last 5 or 6 years, it's been continuously improving. We're profitable, we're generating significant sums of cash. Now, the important thing about that, of course, is that we're also doing it in a sustainable manner. People talk at length about ESG, and for us, this is not a new subject, but it is an extremely important one. And particularly in the area of ESG, the S is most important, where we value our social licence to operate along with all of our other attributes, and we work extremely hard at making sure that whatever we do in other people's communities and countries is in fact sustainable, is in fact beneficial, and delivers strong outcomes for the people that own the land. Just a few pointers from fiscal 24. I mean, we have actually generated, I was interested to hear Penny Wong talking about Australian companies putting 60 billion into the African continent. Well, last year alone, $735 million US dollars came from Perseus into the communities of Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, and I'll talk to that in just a moment. But very importantly, 96% of our workforce is local people, Indigenous people. Procurement, nearly 90% of the things we buy, the goods and services, are procured in country. We manage the environmental things extremely well, we manage safety extremely well, and we do all this to standards that are globally recognised, and we're compliant with the increasing standards that are applying right across the board on the sustainability piece. Now, in terms of the benefits for countries, I'd just like to show this particular slide, because what it does actually demonstrate quite graphically is that over the last few years, our contributions to our host countries has been steadily increasing. And the major beneficiaries of our work are our host governments in the form of taxation, royalties, etc. Our employees also benefit, suppliers of goods and services benefit, and of course communities benefit very directly through trust funds and development funds that we have established to make sure that in our local area, high quality schools and clinics and various other pieces of infrastructure and livelihood development programs can be established. So Perseus works extremely hard at delivering these benefits for all of our stakeholders, and as I said before, we do need cash to do that. So in conclusion, what I would like to say to you is Africa is very definitely, the African continent is very definitely open for business, but it does require the right attitude to be taken to the situation, both from the point of view of the companies and, of course, the host governments. And for companies, what they have to recognise is that everybody must benefit. There is no such thing as a company going in and winner takes all. These days, benefits must be distributed fairly, they must be distributed equitably, and everybody must benefit from the presence on the continent or in host communities. Now, we have been reasonably successful at doing that for a variety of reasons over time, and we expect to continue in that vein as we go forward. We are very proud of the fact that we've been able to work very closely with our host governments, and the fact that at this conference, I think all governments other than Sudan are represented, and we're looking forward very much over the next few days to be able to sit with various delegations and to discuss the work that we're doing and to work out ways that we can continue to benefit everyone around the operations. Now, there is in Australia, in some quarters, a negative perception of what mining is about on the African continent, and with that comes the dreaded African discount that I know that most of the mining companies here, represented here today, would be able to attest to. Now, we think that is seriously misguided and inappropriate, and I believe that the benefits that we as a company are generating are certainly starting to resonate with many of the people who have negative thoughts about what we do. So in conclusion, I would say welcome everybody to this event. This is an excellent event, and well done, Bill, for bringing it on. We're certainly going to enjoy meeting with you over the next few days, and I wish that we can all together celebrate mining on the African continent. Thank you very much.